to this situation, but Steve Kerr announces that Kelly Oubre Jr. will get the start tonight, and the Warriors need his 15 points per game tonight and his defense. It gets a guy like Ja Morant. So no Pascal, no Wiseman, and no Steph Curry, but having Kelly Oubre Jr. in there at least helps the starting lineup to start, Willie.
Absolutely, and like you said, Bonte, from a defensive standpoint, you got to really focus on Ja Morant. You got to keep him out of the paint, pick him up early in transition. He's the engine for the Memphis Grizzlies. But this team, I think they'll be able to score. A big focus, Darrell, is going to be defensively contain Morant. And the Memphis Grizzlies, they're 6th at 11 a game in offensive rebounds. So once again, defensive rebound is going to be a key factor tonight.
Yeah, I think the mindset going into tonight's game is try to slow a bunch of those guys down because they got some guys that could get hot. Ja Morant is one. Valanciunas is another guy. Dylan Brooks. So I think the key is definitely going to be on the defensive end and slowing down Ja Morant in transition. You got to get him early because if you get the head of steam, he's going to finish over you and then get guys involved.
He tries to embarrass people out there. He will posterize you, no doubt about it. So let's take a look at the Warriors starting lineup presented by Ford. And as we just mentioned here, Jordan Poole will get the start. In 14 career starts, Jordan Poole has averaged 12.5 points per game, 2 rebounds and 2 assists. You see Kelly Oubre Jr. there. So without Steph Curry, Jordan Poole, coming up from the G League 6 games ago, will get the start. Let's hear from the head coach of the Golden State Warriors, Steve Kerr, on who's in and who's out.
What do you want to see out of Jordan? I mean, I know you've kind of been hesitant to give him full point guard duties. I know Draymond is in that lineup, so it's not like he's just going to be the point. But what do you want to see out of him?
Yeah, I mean, the great thing with Jordan is that he's truly a combo guard, so he can handle the ball some, he can run off screens, and one of the reasons to put him in the starting lineup tonight is because Draymond handles the ball so much for us with that unit anyway. So Jordan will come in and kind of play a combo role. Memphis is a very good defense. They pack the paint. We need shooting out there. And so that's really the thought behind starting. And plus, he's been playing really well, so we're rewarding him.
Coach, there are a lot of really talented young point guards in the NBA right now. But what kind of unique talents does Ja Morant bring to the game that you need to game plan for?
Yeah, I mean, he's so explosive, so athletic and fast, and he just sort of gets into seams that other people wouldn't be able to get into. And he's one of those guys who you think you've got a hole filled, and he just blows right through it. So we can't be too shocked by his speed. We've got to be overly prepared in transition, loading up, building walls in front of him. We can't let him get free. Can't let him get to the rim, and that's all easier said than done. So he's a great young player, and we got our hands full guarding him.
All right, Steve Kerr talked about the starting lineup. Ja Morant, we'll get to Ja a little bit later, the reigning Rookie of the Year. But Darrell, he talked about needing shooting in that starting lineup, and you can't dispute what Jordan Poole has done since he's been recalled from the G League. 54% from the field, 46 from 3.
Yeah, young players, you got to earn your stripes, and I think Jordan Poole has put himself in position to earn the start tonight. Last game, making 6 threes, career high, so I'm definitely going to be looking for him to go out there, not only on the offensive end, bring something on the defensive end, see how he can control the game and get guys involved as well.
And the reason he has such good percentage, he's getting quality shots, and that's because of ball movement, body movement. So I look for tonight, without a true point guard, to start Draymond trailing and basically playing exclusively point center and running some floppy action, a lot of pin downs, and get guys curling to the paint to try and break down the Memphis defense to kick out for open shots.
And Draymond will still handle the ball, correct?
Oh, absolutely.
Moving the ball up the floor, watching these guys roam around and have the spacing, and I think that's where Jordan Poole helps, right? With Draymond Green running the rock there at the top of the floor.
Well, you got shooters out there. You got Oubre, Wiggins, Poole, right? All guys can shoot, and you got good screening with Looney. So a lot of off-the-ball movement with Draymond handling, trying to break that Memphis defense down. And Steve also said, like we mentioned earlier, Ja Morant, when he's in transition or the half court, he's got to see bodies. Because you want to lay off him because he's only a 24% three-point shooter. but he's so quick and athletic. If you're too far off, he's just going to slice you up.
No doubt. We'll get to John, who defends Ja Morant, a little bit later in the program here. But let's give a little credit, courtesy of our good friends at Provident Credit Union, and that's Jordan Poole, the young man averaging 19 points per game since he's been recalled for the G League, and he's doing it in a variety of ways, Mully.
Great balance to his offensive attack. This is when he just checks in the game, just a sharp cut. And just shot ready, hands and hips ready, no hesitation, drill up and down, great balance.
Yeah, and they talked about defense. Draymond mentioned that, and just being in the right position and knowing I need to be at the nail, weak side pick and roll. He saw the action, he knows rotation, so right here he gets his hand on the ball, and that creates offense. So I thought he did a great job on the defensive end.
Good vision, good awareness there, and here's another shot of him. Here's his Wiggs with the trail three, which is nice ball movement. Here, nice pass by Steph. Just great awareness to get that foot behind the three-point line. You see young players, a lot of these stepping out of bounds on these plays or shooting along too. Shows he's confident and aware in his abilities.
Yes, sir. And right here, we talked about this last game as well, Mully. Those 3 dribbles, straight line drive, getting by a guy that you know you can get by for the and one right there. So he's been playing some great basketball, and this was a tough move right here for anybody to stay in front of.
Straight line drive. His statistics have been efficient, as you mentioned, Bonte, but to me, his body movement and the way when he does put the ball on the floor, getting straight line drives, attacking with 1 or 2, 3 dribbles, not overdoing the ball handling too much where defenses can get set. So tonight, similar attack, ball movement, body movement, and when shots are created, be shot ready, catch and shoot, knock him down like he has been.
Now, obviously, Steve Kerr will have to tweak the rotations without Curry, without Wiseman, without Pascal. So how do you think he divvies up the backup point guard minutes here, Darrell, with Wanamaker and Nico Mannion?
I think Wanamaker has to be ready. He should be hungry. You know, it's been a few games. He's gotten DNP, so I know he's a veteran player. He's been around a little bit now. So I really want to see him, you know, come out with a little bit of fire and be like, hey, don't forget me that I'm over here. So I'm really looking forward for him to come out and have a solid game.
Steve's probably going to have to go another player or 2 deep into the line because this is also a back-to-back. They play tomorrow. What he did against Houston, he played Draymond and Looney extra minutes. But now with Steph out and with Pascal and Wiseman, he might have to go into his lineup a little deeper.
Deeper. Smiley Geach, Wanamaker, Michael there as well. But, fellas, today is the start of March Madness. We're all hoop heads. We all love it. Mullen, you participated in March Madness. Of course, made a Final Four. Well, let's discuss Steve Kerr, Luke Walton, and Andre Iguodala. You look at their numbers at Arizona, and we bring that up. Even though the Wildcats aren't in the NCAA tournament this season, the round of 64 of the tournament did start today. So to commemorate the occasion, we're honoring the late, great Arizona men's basketball coach Lute Olson. Steve Kerr, along with former players Luke Walton and Andre Iguodala, all played under Olson as a Wildcat and went on to flourish in the NBA. And years ago, we here at NBC Sports Bay Area were lucky enough to interview the great Lute Olson before his passing. So sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Well, Steve was looking for a place to walk on, actually. I called his high school coach and asked if he would set up some kind of a scrimmage. My wife, Bobby, and I went in and watched him for about an hour and a half. And I asked my wife on the way to the car, well, what did you think? And she said, you got to be kidding me.
I really wasn't very good at the time. I was kind of a late bloomer. But honestly, one of the reasons I did bloom was because I played for Coach Olson.
I used to kid him that we'd put a telephone book on the floor, and I wasn't sure whether he could get over that or not. He wasn't the quickest of foot, but he was so intelligent.
He was an amazing coach. He taught the fundamentals better than anybody. So I was just really lucky to learn from him.
Malcolm Kerr, the president of American University in Beirut, was gunned down in his school today, the latest victim of Lebanon's seemingly endless violence.
We didn't want him to wake up in the morning to CNN and see this, so we went over and woke him up and told him, and it was a hard thing to tell him.
Coach Olson and Bobby made sure that I had a place to go. I ended up staying at their house for a couple of nights, and he and his family really took care of me at a time when I desperately needed it.
You know, there was a lot of pressure on him to go back to the Knicks. And then when the Warriors job opened, I called him right away and I said, the Warriors job is open. He said, I know, I've applied, he said.
To be perfectly blunt, he sort of laughed and he said, well, if it were me, I would take the Warriors job. and you know, he was pretty matter of fact. He's like, well, that's the one, that's the job. And he was right. I absorbed so much of what he taught me and what I observed while I was in school that a lot of what we do with the Warriors is patterned after the things that I learned from Coach Olson.
I'm thinking of Lute Olson, I'm thinking of Phil Jackson, Lenny Wilkins, Greg Popovich. I've been blessed to play for the greatest coaches ever.
Standing on the stage as a championship coach, it was pretty overwhelming to think about, you know, the men who had helped me, and Coach Olson, you know, was the first person I thought of. You know, dedicating my life to basketball and being able to build an entire existence from the sport. All of that began with Coach Olson. Meeting him and playing for him and learning from him gave me the path that I've been on, which has been an e-ticket at Disneyland. I owe him more than I could ever repay. That's
lessons on how to become a better player, but probably more importantly, on a daily basis, just watching your coach, how he conducts himself, how he treats other people. And to me, one of the biggest lessons I learned from Lou Carnesecca was how you handle adversity, how you handle losses. Because, you know, when you win, everyone's throwing champagne, Gatorade and stuff around, but it's the losses, how you handle those. And I just noticed Steve, as an NBA coach, as such a champion that he's been, he always has great humility and gratitude. And I also noticed the way he treats not just the star players. He has a very open heart and a good feeling for the guys at the end of the bench. How not only how important they are, but how they're feeling about their role within the team.
And Darrell, I know you didn't play college ball. You always talk about, man, you could have went to UConn and played for Jim Calhoun. That would have been a lot of fun. But was Pat Riley that guy for you, taking you as a young man straight out of high school down there in South Beach? What did Pat Riley mean to you?
He meant so much to me, you know, not only being a young man and becoming a young adult, you know, the fact that he helped me understand work ethic, how to be professional, how to be on time, just the little things that, you know, a high school kid doesn't really think about because you're just so immature. So he just taught me how to be a professional. He sat me down weekly, you know, just to pick my brain, see where I was, giving me different books to read. So I owe a lot of credit to Pat Riley for my career and you know, the young man I became as well.
Legendary coaches there, Coach Lou Carnesecca, no doubt, Pat Riley, and of course Lute Olson with Arizona being Steve Kerr's mentor here. And Draymond Green, we're going to discuss Draymond Green right now. He had a great mentor at Michigan State, Tom Izzo, courtesy of Comcast Business. Every connection counts. And Izzo taught Draymond Green how to be a great team player up there at Michigan State. You see him here on the leaderboard, sharing the rock, 7th in the league in assists per game. But since February 1st, Draymond Green has averaged 10 assists per game. Ja Morant, 11th in the league at 7.6 assists per game. But Draymond Green has really been dishing the rock since the calendar turned to February, Darrell.
Yeah, he's been doing a great job. It's crazy to see him, LeBron, and Ben Simmons up there. It just shows you how much their team trusts them with the ball and to make plays. And he's been doing a great job setting the table. And guys know, when he has the ball, cut hard, you're going to get layups. If I throw it to you around the perimeter, be ready to shoot. But I think Draymond's been doing a great job setting the table.
His vision and passing ability is so important. This year, more than ever, with Klay Thompson not being available and the defense that Steph Curry is seeing, so Steve Kerr is able to move Steph off the ball, run him off screens, and Draymond is always the guy finding Steph and making the correct reads on the offensive end.
And Mullen, you mentioned this the other night. You love the way Draymond's playing offensively, not just passing the basketball, but how aggressive he is. The points per game since February, 7.5. Now, people will laugh at that and stop and say, it's only 7.5 points per game. But when he gets up there to 7, 8, 9, 10, it makes this offense look completely different.
Absolutely. And I think it's coincided with his conditioning, his quickness and explosiveness coming back. So it's a big difference to me when he drives the paint and gets deep into the paint as a scorer, right? And every once in a while he'll lay that ball in, but as he's attacking aggressively, it makes the defense guard him, and then he can make the correct read. So scoring a few buckets and being aggressive with his penetration opens up opportunities for his teammates.
Yeah, and I love when he's taking those shots around the perimeter, around the three-point line. It's like, if they're going to leave you open, they're going to be, having all their attention on Steph, you have to take those shots because you're either going to make it or you create opportunities for offensive rebounds. And I think he's been doing a great job of taking those threes as well.
You let him fly, Darrell.
Oh, you know it.
And on a night like tonight, it's going to be really important because they're missing 50 points.
Yep.
With
No
Steph.
doubt. Wiseman and Pascal.
Correct.
No doubt. And speaking of Wiggins, picking up the slack here, Wiggins has been better since the All-Star break. We interviewed him after the Houston game, and he said, look, I just got a chance to get a break, refresh, relax a little bit. And you see him since the All-Star break, averaging 17.5 points per game, but the field goal percentage is up, and the three-point percentage is up. Not to mention, Mully, the free throw percentage at around 82% since the All-Star break. He's going to have a big night if the Warriors want to get a victory tonight against Memphis.
No question. We're going to need his, in which he's been exceptional all season long. Is guarding the Memphis Grizzlies perimeter play, whether it be Ja Morant or Dylan Brooks. I think he and Oubre will both take on that challenge, but it's
definitely going to be a team effort, but I think Wiggins is showing us a lot. Two-way Wiggs is what we call him now.
Yep.
On the defensive end, like Mully said, it's going to be super important tonight, but he's just got to stay aggressive. And I want to see his percentage get up, and I think that right there make him get to the basket a lot more and get fouled.
And that three-point percentage as well. Keep it around 40 to 45%. That'll be good for the Golden State Warriors moving forward here as we take a look at Ja Morant. This is a bad boy. We'll discuss this game coming up here on Warriors Pregame Live, presented by Comcast Business. The shorthanded Dubs are 6.5-point underdogs heading into this one. The over-under set at 221, and all signs point to an under tonight in Memphis. They play at a slower pace. In fact, in the last 72 games at the Grindhouse FedEx Forum, the under is hit. This baby's going over. It's good to see Klay Thompson hit some jump rehab each day. No jumping jumpers, a.k.a. the easiest rebounding. Zaza Pachulia, his buddy Zaza, will ever have to do. Always put the money rack in the corner. He wants back in on that three-point shootout, no doubt about that. But it's just good to see Klay get some shots up, man. We miss that, man. We miss him, just his personality, his humility, and the fun he brings to the basketball court.
no question. His stroke looks beautiful. And like you said, it's the easiest job in the world, rebounding for Klay Thompson. Or if he took his boat over from Tiburon, parked out front,
Right.
Yeah, knock down some
absolutely.
jumpers, get a little treatment.
It's not
Klay Day.
Klay Day, baby. Every day is Klay Day, Darrell.
Yeah, man, it's funny. Zaza FaceTimed me earlier today, and he was with Klay right before this, so he looked like he was in great spirits. We was just catching up and things of that nature. Can't wait to see him back there on the floor because I know he's ready.
Did you tell Zaza, tell Klay to invite me next time he's on the Bay?
Man, I forgot about that, man. Yeah.
Oops. Next time,
man.
next time.
Hey, it happens. It happens.
Man,
Let's take a look at the Memphis Grizzlies starting lineup, courtesy of Ford here, as they got the throwback court, the old Vancouver Grizzly jerseys. Those are some sweet babies. But you see Ja Morant there, manning the point guard position. Getting to start at the two-guard spot, the young man out of Duke. Kyle Anderson's playing better, but Valanciunas down low is going to be a load. But it all revolves around Ja Morant, the reigning rookie of points per game this season, 7.5 assists. And you see Ja, he goes to the rack. This is the game winner here the other night against Miami. A slow-down game. They blew a 7-point lead, but he gets to the rack there, gets Jimmy buckets without any problems.
Going against a premier one-on-one defender, his speed, incredible handles, and he finishes with his left.
Yes.
That's a game winner right there. This kid is nasty.
That's a tough bucket right there, like you said, on Jimmy buckets. But the thing I love about him, he don't back down from nobody. He's one of those guys that came up to the lead and hey, I'm taking names. So I can't wait to see him out there tonight. He's a must-see TV.
He's got some serious swag.
And if you look at his stats, you would think it's an easy scout, right? He only shoots 24% from the three-point line, so you want to lay off him. But he's got dynamic speed, incredible handles, and he's got great change of pace. He's a good enough shooter where you have to honor him at the three.
Oh.
As we See right here.
Crossovers
Hello.
right here.
Nasty.
Nastiest crossovers. Look at around
Yeah,
the
that
back.
one right there was
But
crazy.
that's that quickness, changes direction, changes.
Donald Ginobili is going to do 2 or 3 things he's never done in his life, and that's how it looks sometimes out there when Ja Morant is on the court.
Well, once again, you say show bodies. He just did a crossover behind the back in between 6 guys. So this guy is special. He really is. And Steve Kerr mentioned it pregame. I mean, from a scouting, you want to show bodies all the time.
Right.
Ideally, you go under pick and rolls, give him some space. But if you give him too much space with that strength and quickness and his ability to hands, he's just an incredible cover. And that's why he's been, no one has figured him out yet because of his speed and his athleticism.
No doubt. Well, Steve Kerr, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Draymond Green all have the championships in common. But you know what else they have in common? Is they've all been crossed over. And you see, let's start with Steve Kerr. Hot Rod Strickland, baby. Oh,
come on, man.
Steve, you was on the bench for this one.
You had to keep it together right there. Getting crosses when a guy misses a shot because it's a chance it won't make, Sports Center.
That's the original Under Armour guy, right?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Does it count if he does miss the shot?
No, it
does
does
not.
not. It does not
All right,
count.
here's a great Kobe Bryant, rest in peace. Oh, Klay Thompson. He just gave
Come on,
up.
man. He's like, come on, man.
Come on, man.
Oh, Klay,
Like
That's
a
his
little
guy.
push.
That's his guy.
He's looking for
But
the push-off.
Right.
Look at Klay. He's got the D.
Oh.
He got Kobe.
come on, man.
Come on, there's a little forearm right there.
Little subway shove.
And the other night, we must have missed this one.
I don't know how I missed
Christian
this.
Wood.
Whoa.
Oh, Draymond. Don't touch earth, baby.
You can't get no. With that roster, that doesn't count.
That doesn't count. Oh, come on, man. Draymond.
That was a wet spot. That was a wet
What
spot.
spot?
Wet spot.
I don't know about that one.
No.
I
That
don't know
don't
about
count.
that one, man. Crossovers, or I guess we got a crossover coming up here. I guess a chair crossed me over the other day on the morning roast on 95.7 Game. Let's check this video out. Kate Scott, Jillian Butcher Boys, breaking out Deshaun Watson. She's got me all happy. I'm getting teased here. I get my Fat Joe lean back on. Look at that.
Was that an earthquake?
Yeah, it's like a 4.5, man. Look at this. Oh! If that doesn't scream, get on the Peloton right away. And look at the screw here. Look how thick the screw. That's a thick screw right there, buddy.
You need a trip to Home Depot, get the Phillips head screw. Or just call Task.
Right.
Huh? The Task man. Get on.
Man,
I need a glue gun
handyman
there.
over there.
I need a glue gun. What's up with that, man? I'm trying to get my lead back on.
Your face when you went back was hecka funny, man. You looked like you was a little nervous there.
A little shook